Hello everybody, I am Samu15 the Dragon Team here today. Welcome to Pokemon TCG Online. And today I just have another simple deck list for you guys today. That is Virizion Genesect. This is actually very similar to my deck that I played at Regionals, just a 6-card difference. Oh wait, it's not really that similar, but the easiest choices were take out the balloons for mostly so I can have enough room so I can put in the stadium. And the stadium that I chose for this deck is Plasma Frigate. The problem I think this deck is having right now is that Silent Lab gives this deck a lot of trouble. It really does. So we basically play Plasma Frigate as a counter stadium, and that's the whole purpose of this card. Well, why Plasma Frigate instead of some other kind of stadium? Well, there's no real stadium that helps it. Most of the stadiums in the format do absolutely nothing to for Virizion Genesect, and sometimes will end up helping your enemies. Maybe Shrine of Memories is a nice, good, useless stadium to throw in here, but that's actually absolutely worthless. But this stadium is actually, having a Plasma Stadium is actually somewhat useful because, well, Genesect is a Team Plasma Pokemon, and we do run Shadow Triad, so if we need to, we can get it back. Since I do play three VS Seekers, since I put another VS Seeker when I got rid of the balloons, yeah, we can fairly easily get a Plasma Frigate if we really need to. So that's the idea behind there. So why Plasma Frigate over Frozen City? Well, to be perfectly honest, because this helps a little bit against fire decks, I guess. And because each Pokemon that has any plasma energy attached to it, both yours and your opponent's, has no weakness. So say if like a power decides to on your Pokemon and gets rid of fire energy, you're not getting knocked out if you apply plasma energy onto your Genesect or Virizion. And that's the thought process behind that. Why not Frozen City? Because, like I said, Frigate is a bit nicer, and you know, when you attach to what Frozen City does is whenever you attach an energy to a Pokemon, unless it's Team Plasma, put 2 damage counters on it, and that's not exactly good because you're putting some easy damage onto a Virizion for the first turn or two, and you're putting essentially damaging a Virizion like 40 damage. Granted, you can just avoid not playing it until then, but sometimes you kind of have to if you have to Juniper or anything, because you just don't want to uselessly get rid of your stadium. But then again, it's mostly as a counter stadium. Plasma Frigate has not only is it nice to your Genesects, but it does have other purposes. It does have a purpose. Granted, its main and number one purpose for the most part is a counter stadium. So the only real time you want to put down this card is basically when you feel like you just to counter your opponent's stadium. So when you see Vermink, though, there's no real point of putting a Frigate down for the most part, unless they're playing Toad. Then you have to worry about them getting heads on Crushing Hammer, and that's annoying. So yeah. That's why I play with Frigate in here. That's a bit of a long explanation, but whatever. So that's half of the balloon line that went to the Frigate. The other half went to a Team Plasma and a VS Seeker. I was actually tempted to just play another Shadow Triad, but I decided, third VS Seeker, more flexible that way. And 3 VS Seeker and Genesect is very good, honestly. Especially with the amount of supporters I'm playing. I'm playing like 3 one-of supporters in this deck: a Shadow Triad, Zero Sick, and Lysandra. So, Lysandra's last. Anyway, 4 actually: Lysandra and Lysandra's Last Resort. So that's great for that. And you can get like another Colress, another N, another Skyla, another Juniper. I just really like that card in this deck. I really do. And just having a third just so good right now, especially if you play like a lot of one-hit supporters. And of course we also played hammers in here. Now hammers I've been debating on and off for a while now, and I'm still kind of testing whether or not I like hammers or not. Sometimes I feel like hammers are absolutely worthless some of the time, and other times I find it's kind of useful to slow down my opponent a little bit. But I feel like I'd rather have cards that are useful like most of the time, not all the time, and that's why as of now I'm taking both of them out for a third energy switch. So that's actually what I was debating between the VS Seeker. I was actually debating a third VS Seeker or a third E switch, and I decided to beat the third VS Seeker. And then I decided to take out the hammers for a third E switch and a Shaman. Now, why Shaman? Yes, it has 110 HP, can knock out be very knocked out easily these days, but for my playstyle, I really do like. I like to like come back from behind games, and Shaman's a perfect Pokemon to do so. Granted, it gets knocked out very easily, but let's say your opponent is down to only 2 prices left, and you can just smack down a Shaman, E-switch, put that baby up there, and put a Muscle Man to it, and just one-shot EXs. Simple as that. Yeah, it just hits for 170, I think. Yeah, simple as that. Because it does 30 damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. So if they take 4 prize cards, that's effectively, what is that? 150. Muscle Man on the Shaman, 170. Perfect knockout. So yeah, this is also very perfect if you have no way to get a Genesect, like a Genesect and a G booster and be able to G booster, and you need to take a knockout that turn. And Shaman's just good for that, I think. But however, the downside is that it is fragile. It's a bit of a glass cannon, but you know, I do like Shaman. You're not gonna use it all the time. Most of the time, you're probably not. I played like a few tournaments online in real life, and only one game. I'm like, out of like 4 or 5 rounds in a league challenge, I've only used it once, and that was because like I actually had to use it simply because I started with it, you know. And that was, yeah. Most of the time, you're probably not going to want to get it out, but it's just a nice. It's kind of like trump card. I like Lysander's trump card. Like you can, you know, if you absolutely need it, you can get it back. And that's the kind of category that Shaman kind of falls into. You know, maybe you don't have to play the Shaman or the trump card. Most people probably don't need to. They can just play like a 10 energy and probably maybe another hand hammer. But you know, I like the Shaman in here. I really do. Alright, so let's just get right into it. I'm not going to explain too much else of the deck because, well, a lot of time has already passed. More than I wanted to. Because I like to ramble on, as you guys have noticed probably by now. So, yeah. Not going to ramble on anymore. Virgin... Who is it? Where'd it go? Standard... It's in standard, right? I don't know where it went. Where'd it go? Sorry if I'm taking a while. Probably seen it a gazillion times by now. There it is, the Virgin Plasma. Right? Why do I call it this way? Well, because there's a lot of plasma cards in here. I just call it Virgin, but whatever. So let's get right into it. Maybe you want to call it Virgin Shaman or Virgin Men. But I'm just gonna call it Virgin with like the cool tag. And my opponent plays Jamming Net. That's why we play Zero Sick as a counter for that. Opponent seems to be playing a straight fairy variant with like more of a hard charm twist to it, and I don't like that. All I saw was a fairy in the preview, so there's that. Opponent plays Acrobike. I don't know how I feel about that in this deck. I'm decided to fan club here for another Spritzy and a Florges. He puts an enhance, not enhance, but a hard charm there, and passes. Okay, I see my opponent plays Jam Unit, so I'm gonna get a Muscle Band in there right now. I'm gonna pass. Maybe I should have. I don't think my opponent plays Enhanced Hammer, so I don't have to worry too much. But my opponent's gonna Fan Club again. I'm not. I'm happy with that. And then I can use my Colress. Opponent gets another Florges and Exernius. Opponent looks like it's gonna pass again. This is nice because I can knock out this Spritzy now, then I can knock another one later. I'm just gonna just get this energy. I'm not gonna bother playing my Plasma Frigate because I know probably as soon as I do, he was gonna smack down his Fairy Garden. Let's see if I can get a Genesect. I do get a Genesect. That's nice. I do get VS Seeker. Unfortunately, I'd rather get a supporter instead. But at the very least, I can Colress for 6 next turn. That's pretty good. Not even upset about that, honestly. Not even upset. Not even salty. But of course, my opponent decides to put a Jam in it right then and there. That's great. That's a Grindy Bunch. These hard charms are really annoying. I'm just gonna straight up bring up the other Spritzy. Fine, you can hammer me all day long, dude. I don't have any problem with that. Then I'll just freaking do this. I don't want to put another one. Just Colressing for 5 is there's nothing wrong with that. And I got another Genesect. Yay! I'm doing very good right now. Get it? Very and fairly good. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Just gonna stop. Everyone decides a fan club for stuff, I guess. Opponent does not have much stuff apparently. And my opponent just gives up. Now this is the deck I'm probably going to be facing a League Challenge, playing with a League Challenge tomorrow. Either that or some kind of Steel deck, but I'm kind of leaning more towards Steel if I can get some Fliptinis. Because I don't have any apparently. I just realized that earlier today. I'm like, oh shoot, I don't have Fliptinis. Well, that sucks. I need to ask people for some Fliptinis. So, yeah, I have one secure, but I'd like to play another. I'll show you my deck list another time. I don't want to end it here, though. It's only been like 13 minutes. So let's play again. See if we can get a better matchup. But even if this is like a dong matchup, I'm still going to just end it there. Because 15-minute video is fine. Rather be close to 20, but as long as it's like around 20, that should be fine, right? Let's see if we can find a opponent. And some people have actually been asking me for tournaments. And my reply to that is, I don't know. Because tournaments are weird because you can't never really get a good tournament. Granted, I don't do what Puka does and just kind of fish for good battles and then just do a commentary over the video I recorded earlier. I don't do that. I just straight up go, do I have anything? Nope. Okay, fine. Do I run, like, just kind of, I do this raw. Yes, I very much do this raw. Some people have complained about that actually, but I don't care. That's how I do things. But yeah. So I'm just gonna have a pass here. Nothing else I can do. Unfortunately, unless my opponent ends me, I'm gonna have to put the G booster down on the Genesect, which I'm not a fan of. But it looks like I will be able to Emerald Slash, even though I'm not gonna get any damage. Opponent decides to Ultra Void to Blastoise, and that automatically makes me think that my opponent's not playing Squirtle instead of the Archie. Opponent gets a Execute, probably gonna just has another way of discarding it now. Probably can Sycamore here or Juniper. Yep, Sycamore, get rid of the egg. And the Archie's Ace in the Hole, I think it's called. So that's great on my opponent's part. And look, I don't have to. I don't have to get. I don't have to risk putting down my G booster. Unfortunately, I just get it right back. So apparently, Fate's saying no. You will have this G booster. I'm not too upset with that, to be honest, though. It's like, can't complain, I guess. My opponent does somehow get a G booster, not G booster, but a Blastoise here. I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I have Skylight and Team Plasma. The Plasma Energy, so I can just go bring up that Blastoise, Skylight for Muscle Band, have fun. Besides Ultra Ball, another Ultra Ball and a Blastoise for Jirachi. Apparently my opponent is probably gonna. I don't know what my opponent's gonna do here. Draw Ultra Ball again for Suicune. What does my opponent have here? Another Ultra Ball? It's not too late for my opponent to take that back. Because my opponent needs to have a playable card. Oh, there we go. Get the Archie's Ace in the hole. And don't get anything else. Don't deluge. My opponent's going to deluge. My opponent's going to probably deluge onto the Keldeo. Oh, then the other Suicune. Smart. Opponent's going to hit me right here. I know my opponent can just get another Blastoise fairly quickly, but I'm just going to go for the easy target, get a knockout here. Maybe this is not the best of plans, or maybe it's not the best strategy in the world, but it's the strategy I'm using. And I'm just going to put the 2 energy here. I think that's a plan. It's my plan anyway. It just promotes the Suicune. Not bad. Just doesn't need to do anything else. And let's just hope my opponent doesn't have much else to do. My opponent did have to try a little bit to get the Blastoise that turn, so my opponent's probably going to want to try to do it again. My opponent's probably going to just bring up the either the Keldeo or the Jirachi. I'm going to assume the Jirachi, because that's just an easy 2 prizes just waiting to happen. And my opponent has used 2 VS Seeker, 2 Archie. So, at best case scenario, my opponent has a 3rd Archie in there or a 3rd VS Seeker. I'm just guesstimating though. My opponent decides to hit me for another 50. I'm fine with that. I'm very fine with that, I guess. I could G-boost you here, I really could. Don't think I need Deoxys this game. I'm actually just going to grab it so I can do this. Yeah, I'm going to G-booster this game. This turn. I'm going to get rid of the Plasma Energy. Promote that. E-switch up to the Genesect. The G-booster there. And I'm just going to straight up get rid of everything else I have in my hand. Just put another one down, because why not, I guess. That's the idea behind that. And I'm just going to G-booster. So I can G-booster again next turn, because my opponent's obviously going to want to promote the Sigilyph. Not the Sigilyph, but the Suicune. Same thing. Not the same thing, but same ability. Has Safeguard. I can just G-booster that. I'll be fine. That's the thought behind that. Kind of just wondering to see what my opponent's going to do here. Superior Energy retrieves back some energy. Puts one on the Sweet. He probably did that because that's all my opponent could do, and my opponent was not a he. It was a she. My opponent just has to go, alright, GG. And so we have two somewhat decent games, where I just kind of go have fun to my opponent. So yeah, you guys do not see Shaman, and you're not really going to see Shaman most of the time. You're very rarely ever going to see Shaman in the game. You can also play Trevenant in the deck, and it's debating it. What Trevenant does is it has 180 HP, which is good because if your opponent plays something where the max damage is 170, they can't knock it out because Trevenant has 180. And Trevenant has basically Keldio's attack. Wood Blast does 50 and plus 20 for each grass attached to it, and you can get some pretty nice damage with it, I guess. You can essentially do, if you have enough energy on it, you could hit for 180, 170, 190, but in reality, you're not going to be able to get that much energy in Trevenant, plus Trevenant has a 3 retreat cost. And that's the number one thing that has shined me away from Trevenant. If Trevenant had like a different weakness, I would actually totally play it. I really would. If it was like weak to dark or fighting, I would just go, yeah, I'm playing it in this deck instead of Shaman. But because it does not have an alternative weakness, I'm just going, alright, I'll play Shaman, keep everything so that the only thing that has 2 retreat costs is Deoxys, and we do have ways around the 2 retreat costs. We do play 3 E-switch along with 2 regular switch, so we can essentially be able to get retreat from the Deoxys if like opponent decides to catcher stall, and we can just get around that. We're not always going to be able to do it fairly easy, but sometimes a good amount of the time we're going to get around that. So I don't think Trevenant's worth your time in this deck. I do like it a little bit, but if Dialga was a better thing, much bigger thing, I think I would probably play it, and I would suggest playing it if you do. Give me a minute! So, yeah, please like, subscribe, and all that silly stuff. Like I said, Shaman's the better idea in my opinion. And I'll see you guys next time.